Awesome. Good morning to the people who are from US. Good afternoon to the people who are from UK. And good evening to the people who are attending from India. So what were we discussing yesterday? What were we discussing yesterday? Anyone? Any volunteer?
Primary key.
Primary key. We are discussing about the primary key. Okay. Before we discuss about the primary key, we did discuss about couple of other things, right? We didn't jump to the primary key, right? I think we did discuss some other things also. Any idea?
Different type of keys.
Different types of keys. Very good. Then anyone? Anyone else? What else?
Super key, candidate key.
Yes. Super key,
Primary.
candidate key. Yes. Primary key. Okay. So before that,
Primary key, foreign key.
yes, primary key foreign. Very good. So I think we did discuss about that. Before that, we did we discuss about Nautal key and link key. We did discuss about it on a later note. Okay. So we understood one of the very important aspect in the table are keys, right? So when we say keys, keys are the one which will identify each row in a table uniquely. Okay. Without keys, database is nothing. Okay. So and also we understood why do we need key by example. Are you guys able to see my screen, all of you? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we also understood why do we need key with an example, right? And then we understood there are different types of keys. Okay. One is super key, candidate key, primary key, unique key, alternate key, surrogate key, foreign key, and composite key. Within this, I elaborated on primary key. Okay. So BB Hajira, what do you think is a primary key according to you?
A lot of super keys filter and create a candidate keys from the primary keys.
Okay. Okay. Any other thoughts from anyone else?
Sir, primary key is a type of candidate key,
Mm-hmm.
and using primary key, we can uniquely identify the rows, and it is also not null and unique.
Awesome. Very good. It is not null and unique. That means there are no duplicates here. Okay. That is what we discussed about the primary key. And also, we took an example and did a hands-on. That also we did, right? That is what we did. So now that we understood a primary key, I heard BB Hajira wants to go to foreign. Right, BB Hajira, you want to go to foreign?
No, sir.
No, you don't want to go to foreign. Hurry, why? I think Subbu wants to go to foreign, right? Subbu, you want to go to foreign?
No.
No, I mean foreign means abroad, guys. I mean, we used to say foreign when I was kid, right? When I say foreign, we're talking about the foreign country means the abroad country like US,
Yes,
UK,
yes.
Switzerland. You don't want to go to there,
Yes.
Subbu?
Yes.
You want to go? Okay, now how about
No.
BB Hajira? BB
Sir,
Hajira, you want to go or
foreign
you don't want to go?
No, sir.
foreign country I don't go.
Okay, got you. Okay, wonderful. So anyway, I was kidding. So that we'll start discussing about foreign key now. Foreign key. Okay. So okay, as I already told, I'm not covering all of the keys because of the time constraint. Okay, I'm covering only the most important thing. That is primary key, which I covered yesterday. Now today I'm going to cover foreign key. Okay, are you guys ready for that? Ready?
Yes.
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 Let's go for it. Let's go for it. I'm just opening a PowerPoint presentation. Looks like since it is a Friday evening, right? It is also taking some time. Okay. First question what I have, to Sabita is, Sabita, do we have only one table in a database?
No, sir. We have multiple tables.
We have multiple tables. What do you think, Kiran? Do we have only one table in a database or multiple tables, Kiran? Swastika, what do you think, Swastika?
The multiple tables.
Multiple tables. So, because two of you guys are saying, I agree with you guys. Not like that. What you guys are saying is absolutely right. When we create a database, definitely there'll be more than one table. More than one table. Okay, that is the thing. Okay. Now, when we have more than one table, there is a situation which will arise. We may have to use the data of both the tables. Some data from this table, some data from this table. In that case, we have to establish a relationship between these two tables. Right? Relationship between these two tables. Okay. And how do we establish the relationship between these two tables? That is through foreign keys. Okay, that is through foreign keys. Okay, so foreign keys are the columns of a table that points to the primary key of another table. Anyway, we'll take an example and go through that. Okay, so foreign keys are type of keys. When I say key, we are referring to the column here, right? We are referring to the column here. Okay, please remember that. So they are the columns in a table that points to the primary key of another table. Why do they do that? Why do they do that? Kiran, why do they do that? Why do they need to point to the primary key of another table? That way, we'll be able to establish the relationship between the two tables. In order to establish the relationship between the two tables, we have a foreign key, right? We have a foreign key. Okay. Now, let us take an example here. Okay. We have a table called student. And also we have a table called course. Okay, course. So student has student ID, student name, age, and phone number. Course table. Both of them are tables. Remember, there are tables. Course table. Okay. Now, course table has student ID, course, the course itself. Okay. Now, if I want to know Monica has taken which course, how do I know that?
Using foreign key, you can access the course ID and course name.
Absolutely. So now the point here is, until and unless we have a connection between these two tables, there is a connection between these two tables, I will not be able to fetch the data of one table from another table. Right? I'll not be able to do that. So we have established that connection by using a foreign key. Okay. So what we have done is, if you observe clearly, okay, see, observe this. Okay. So Antara, what am I doing here? I mean, how am I establishing a relationship? I am establishing a connection here, Antara.
Sir, we are defining a foreign key which will hold the relationship between the two tables using the primary keys of the individual table.
Okay, wonderful. So, as Antara said, what we are doing is we are taking a primary key of a student table and we are making that as a foreign key of course table. You guys are able to observe it, right? Bibi Hajira, Kiran, Mutaminal, you guys are able to observe it, right? That is what we are doing. Okay. So, in a way, some of the important aspects of a foreign key are columns in a foreign key must be of the same data type and length as reference columns in a primary key. So here, if I'm making the student ID as a student ID as a primary key of a student, and if I'm making that student ID as a foreign key of a course, these columns, this column and this column should have a same data type. When I say same data type, if we have defined the student ID column as a int in a student, we also need to define the student ID as a int in the course. If I defined this student as a char 20, I should also define this as a char 20, the same length also. Easy peasy, right? Very easy, right? Tabitha, very easy, right? Subbu, very easy, right? You guys are able to get it, right? So, the columns in the foreign key column may be nullable. If you remember, when we are discussing about the primary key, we said primary key cannot be nullable, right? As Arunava said, primary key cannot be nullable, but in case of foreign key, in foreign key, any of this can be nullable because it will not impact. Okay. And one more very, very important aspect, what I kind of missed here, the earlier table is the wherever we are providing a foreign key, we are making a primary key of another table as a foreign key of table. In this case, we are making a primary key of a student as a foreign key of a course table, right? So this table where we are getting the primary key and making it as a foreign key is called as a reference table. Referenced. Pay attention. Reference table. Okay. And this table is called as a referencing. Okay. This table is referencing this table. You get it? You guys are getting it, right? This table is referencing this table. Okay. So that is how the referencing and foreign key is established. Okay. So any questions here? Guys?
Sir, I want to ask something.
Please go ahead.
If between primary key and the foreign key, if there is a data nullable, then can we extract the data from both sides?
Let's see. In that case, it may not be possible. You are right. Okay. Because in order to link these two tables, we need that. Okay. But the reason here is some courses may not be here. Some courses may not be taken by any of the students. You're getting me, right? Let us say in this table, Arun, right? Let us say in this table. So
Yes, sir.
let us add a one more table called sociology. Okay, sociology, some course. That may happen that course may not be taken by any of the students. That is the reason it will be nullable. It is null. Got it, right? So to your point, if a foreign key is null, foreign key is null, that means to say that there is no data there. There is no data there. From this, there is no data to reference from this particular table. Okay. Obviously, if there is a null, we'll not be able to establish the relationship between this and this. So we'll not be able to retrieve it. You got it, right? Okay. That is how it is. Okay. Wonderful then. Let us move forward. Let us move forward. Okay. So, as I already told you guys yesterday, okay, in terms of other types of keys are there in our playlist. Okay. So as I showed you, sorry. So other types of keys are there here in the RDBMS playlist. Please do watch them. Okay. As I said, some other types of keys are super key, candidate key, primary key I already established, unique and serial key I already established, foreign key I already discussed. Okay. So these please do watch these videos to get more details about the other keys. But I have covered the most important keys, that is primary key and foreign key. Awesome then. Let us move forward. Okay. So just to like take a step back and understand what and all we have learned so far since I have started this course, this SQL free course. First and foremost thing is, any idea like who has attended the anybody who has attended the course from the first class? Anybody? Sabita, have you attended from the first class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can you tell me from the, if you go back to the first class, what and all important things we have learned so far? Based on whatever you remember. Anyway, I am there to help you out.
In first class, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, one of you. Yeah, Sabita. First Sabita.
Yeah, sir. In first class, we started with SQL, and then the RDBMS, and the task of RDBMS.
Okay, Kiran, what
the
else?
Usage of it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sabita. Kiran, what else? You are saying something.
No, I was explaining same.
Same, is it? Okay. What else?
Yes.
What else we have covered? Okay. So some of the important aspects which I want you guys to remember is we have covered, I mean, since the first class, okay, we have covered what is database, right? We have covered so far. We have learned what is database. Okay. And also one of the things we have in our videos, this I have not covered, but because of the time constraint, this is about the ER modeling. Okay. So we do have a videos about this. Please do watch them. Okay. So we have learned what is database. Okay. Very, very important thing. Okay. And also we have learned the different types of keys. Isn't it? We have learned the different types of keys. Isn't that? Primary key and foreign key. The most important ones. Okay. And now we also learned what is database. Okay. And within the database, see, if you remember, I said RDBMS. Within RDBMS, we have database. Within database, what we have? What do we have within database? What do we have within database? Tables. Yes. Tables. We have tables. You are absolute. Okay. In tables, what do we have?
Rows and columns.
Rows and columns. Awesome. Okay. In rows and columns, what do we have?
Data.
Data. Wonderful. Guys, you guys are good. Okay. So we learned how to create the tables, right? We have learned create the tables. Now the question is, Vishwaraj, the question is, after we create the tables, we have created the tables. This is a table. What do we do? What do we do, Vishwaraj? What do we do after creating the tables? You can respond on a chat as well. Okay. BB Hajira, what will we do? What will we do after creating the table?
Insert the data, sir.
Insert the data. Awesome. Very good. It is as simple as that. Okay. We insert the data into the table. That is what we do. Okay. Now, please pay attention here. While inserting the data, do we need to take care of anything? IMC Business Odisha. Okay, that is the name of this one. Okay, what's your name, please? Where has put their name as IMC Business Odisha?
Sir, Ashish Morana.
What's your name, please?
Sir, Ashish Morana.
Ashish. Hey, Ashish. Okay. So, Ashish, while trying to insert the data into the table, do we need to take care of anything, Ashish?
Sir, this is my first class, sir.
Okay, no problem. Sorry. Okay, cool. Okay. So we do have our videos uploaded either in a live class or in a listen. Please do watch them. Okay. Once you are our class done with the class. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
No problem. Thank you. So Kiran, do we need to take care of anything?
Yes, I think it's a data type.
Data type.
And
Wonderful.
Keys.
And keys. Okay. Yes. Thank you for that. Okay. So we definitely need to take care of something. Okay. So is there any predefined way to insert the data into the table? We are not just dumping the data into the table, right? We are not just doing that, right? There is a predefined way. There is some rules we have to follow to insert the data into the table. Yes, right? Did we dump? Let us say we create a table called cars. We create a table called person. Okay, we'll dump the data in. Did we do that? There was some predefined way. Do you guys, are you guys able to recollect it? Right? So there is a predefined way. Okay. Now, let us take an example here before we go further. Assuming that all of you have a Gmail account. You guys have a Gmail account, right? Subbu, you have a Gmail account? Yes. Okay. You do have a Gmail account. Okay. Now the question is, when you guys created the Gmail account, you had user ID and you have user
Password.
user password. Okay, you're right. Thank you. Now these are the two important fields which you have to provide while signing up for any email. Okay. Now let us say if I give, let us say Samantha. Okay. Samantha is a favorite actress of our Subbu, right? Subbu, is she your favorite actress?
Yes, sir.
See, how did I find out? Okay. Let us say, okay, Samantha, like if anybody types Samantha, if somebody has already created a email ID with the Samantha, will it accept? Will it accept?
Yes, sir.
It will not. It will ask you for, because this ID has already taken, right? So you need to provide the unique ID. Right? Let us say if Subbu has to be created. If somebody has already created a ID called Subbu, it will not accept. It says, hey, this ID is already taken. You please provide the unique ID for us. Then you have to say Subbu 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? We have to give something in between. Then only we have to make that ID unique. That is about the user ID. And on the password side, if you say, hey, I love you, if you say give that, will it accept?
No.
It will say, I don't love you. It will say, I don't love you. Please provide a password
Special character.
with special characters. Special character, right? It will say, I don't love you. Please provide a password with a special character and one number and one
Number, uppercase, lowercase.
uppercase, lowercase, and all those. That's what it says. What is happening here? What is happening? See, if you really observe a bit more, one layer down, all this data, what you are entering is in a front end, right? Front end in a web browser or something. Okay, this data has to be stored somewhere, right? This data has to be stored somewhere, right? So this data is ideally would be stored in any of the RDBMS, right? Any of the RDBMS. So in a way, whatever the constraints you are facing, right? Constraints you are facing, that will be from the RDBMS side. That will be from the RDBMS side. Okay. I mean, in a way, I'm saying sometimes they do take care of all the constraints at the front end level. Okay. And also that may also percolate down to the database level. Okay. So this is handled by the data. Anything related to the data constraints is handled by data integrity. Data integrity. What is data integrity? What is data integrity? Arunava. Data integrity. Any idea what is data integrity, Arunava? Okay. Anybody
No,
in
sir.
the group? Anybody in the group? What is data integrity? Okay. That's okay. Data integrity is a kind of a constraint. Data integrity is a kind of a constraint that refers to the quality of the data stored within the databases. The quality of the data, what you are going to insert into the databases, is taken care by the data integrity. Okay. Now, data integrity is the overall accuracy, completeness, and the consistency of data. Consistency of the data. So when I say complete data, what is complete data? What is complete data?
With no fault.
Okay, what is that?
With no errors.
With no errors. Okay, sorry. First is accuracy, right? What is accuracy? What do you mean by accuracy?
Accuracy is giving everything 100%.
Okay. So basically, accuracy is how accurate the data is. When I say how accurate the data is, so how closely the data in the system reflects the real world scenario. Okay. See, for example, so like assuming that we have Amazon, right? Or Flipkart or Myntra or whatever. Okay. So we have a customer name there. Okay. How accurately the customer name is there and also how accurately the customer record, including the address, is captured. That is the accuracy, right? Okay. So, like one more example for the inaccurate data is, let us say, if you go to the hospital, okay, you have a database there, right? So, ideally, what is happening is patient doesn't have a patient doesn't have any allergy, okay, but in the database it is mentioned as a patient has an allergy. That is inaccurate data, okay. Then coming to the completeness. What is completeness? What is completeness? Any idea from anyone?
Several
The
field
all the
in
necessary
Yeah,
are and conditional fields should be filled by the customers.
absolutely. Very good, Kiran. Very good, Kiran. Okay. So when you say completeness, all the important aspects of the data are captured. Are captured, right? So now, assuming that you are a student, you are getting admitted as a student in a particular college, okay. So they need your student name, student's parent's name, right? So all that is there or not, right? So consistency means, let us say you have I mean, we did discuss about the foreign key, right? Okay. In the data in one table of a particular column is different in a different database, sorry, in a different table for a same column. Okay. So that is that is inconsistent. So basically, consistency is nothing but the you have a uniformity of the data across the different tables in a database. Okay. A particular, let us say, customer name may be there in different tables. Customer name in one table, it should not be like, for example, Subbu. In case Subbu, let us say his name is Subramaniam. Okay. So, okay. His name is Subramaniam. Okay. Subramaniam M. I'm just taking a hypothetical example. Okay. So, in one table, he is listed as a Subramaniam M. In another table, the same customer should not be named as a Subbu, right? It should be consistent. That is a consistent. Okay. So, all this is handled by data integrity. Okay. Data integrity means overall accuracy, completeness, and consistency of the data. Okay. So, and also data integrity comes into picture whenever the compliance comes into picture. For example, different their complaints are there. In US we have HIPAA complaints. Okay. In India also there are different complaints coming up. Okay. And according to the complaints, we have to capture the data. Okay. There also data integrity comes into picture. Okay. So in order to ensure the data is accurate, complete, and consistent, we are following the constraints. Okay. Data integrity is achieved through one of the important thing is through the proper data typing, and also through constraints. What are constraints? What are constraints in terms of database? Any idea? How do you define the constraints in terms of database? Anyone?
view,
Come again? No, not view.
view,
We just discussed. Nah. So constraints are nothing but the rules, right? Rules. We are applying kind of some rules. Okay. Some kind of a policies or rules, so that we can control the the data, the quality of the data which gets inserted into the table. That is a constraint. Okay. For example, we have default constraint, check constraint, any constraint, key constraint, all this. These are different types of constraint. Okay. So data integrity is achieved through the either through proper data typing or through constraints. Okay. Through constraints. Okay. So, and by following the data integrity, we'll ensure that data is truthful. Okay. We ensure that data is accurate. We ensure that data is complete. We ensure that data is retrievable. We ensure that data is verifiable. These are the important benefits of the data integrity. Any idea what are the different types of data integrity in RDBMS? What are the different types of data integrity? I mean, data integrity or data integrity constraints? Any idea? Okay. So, at a high level, we can classify the data integrity constraints into four important types. Okay. First thing is domain integrity. The second one is entity integrity. The third one is referential integrity. And the fourth one is user defined integrity. Okay. So when you say domain, what is domain, by the way? What is domain? What is domain, by the way? Sabita, what is domain?
Columns.
Yes, columns. Okay. Domains, if you guys remember, domain is nothing but a column. We discussed this as a part of the database components. Column, or what is the another name for the domain? Anyone? What is the another name for the attributes? Okay, please remember that. Okay, we use that interchangeably. Okay, so any constraints pertinent to the column we'll have as a part of the domain integrity. Okay, so we do have different something else, check, default, different types of domain constraints. Okay, and entity means what? Entity means what?
Relation.
Relation or a table. Okay, one of that, relation or a table. Okay, referential we'll see what is referential. User defined means the integrity constraint which is defined by the user for some specific purpose. Okay, so within these constraints, we'll focus on two important things. That is, one is entity integrity, another one is a referential integrity. These two are very important. I mean, I'm not saying others are important as compared to these four. These two are important. We'll focus on them. Okay. But in terms of domain integrity, again, I will make sure that you guys go through. We have within domain integrity, we have check constraint, default constraint, not null constraint, unique constraints. All these things are there. Please go through that as a part of the video. Are you guys able to see my screen? Are you guys able to see my screen? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So, okay. Something comes up on your screen. Please attend that. I hope this question was not answered yesterday, right? Only 5 people have answered. All of you, please. Everybody got the poll, right? Poll means the question on your screen. Just take a poll. I mean, try to answer the question. Try to answer the question. Okay, good. 4 more has to participate. Wonderful. Most of you have chosen a correct answer. Okay. So primary key uniquely identifies each row and a foreign key links two tables. Okay. That is the answer. Okay. Wonderful. Let us move forward. Okay. So when I said entity, some of you already said entity is nothing but a relation. Relation is nothing but a table. That is what we already know. Now that we understand entity is nothing but a relation, relation is nothing but a table. So how do you ensure that entity integrity is maintained? Entity integrity is maintained. So basically, before we really understand how do you maintain the entity integrity, let us understand what is entity integrity according to you guys. Entity is nothing but table. So what is the integrity of the table? Any thoughts? So basically, integrity of the table, as we already know, there should not be any duplicate records within the table. Right? There should not be any duplicate records. That doesn't make sense. Okay. That is another important aspect. Okay. So, like whatever the field is also one more name for the column. Okay. One more name for the column. That identify each record should be unique. And never be null. Okay. In a way, if you see, entity integrity is in a way borrowing the aspects from one more key. I'll not reveal that key. I'll just see that. Okay. So first and foremost thing is entity integrity or table integrity ensures that there are no duplicate values, and field that identifies that column that identifies each record should be unique and never be null. Okay. So how it ensures that there are no duplicate records within the table? How do you ensure? Any idea? Any thoughts? Okay. That is
using the primary
yes.
key.
Yes. That is by using a primary key. Okay. So it is as simple as that. Okay. So like in a way, what we are doing is in a entity database, we are enforcing a primary key for each table in a database where the key must be either a row or a combination of rows that are unique or non-null values. Okay. We enforce we will have a entity integrity by enforcing the primary key for each table. Means whenever you create a table, you should have a primary key. That is how we will ensure. Okay. And we, in a way, if we have to understand why do we need entity integrity, let us understand a question first. Why do we store the data in tables? Anybody? Why do we store the data in tables? For what reason?
So
In a
it will be
structured way.
stored in structured way.
Now, why do we store? To analyze, to derive the patterns, to
Yes.
derive the insights, right? Okay. Now, let us say, like, if we want to derive the information within this table. Okay. If we want to get the data of a Rahul. Okay. Okay. So now, if I say, Muthuminal, what is the science marks of Rahul? How much Rahul has scored in science?
67, sir.
67. Okay. You don't like the Rahul who has scored 89, Muthuminal?
Oh, sorry, sir. I did not.
That's okay. I mean, that was expected. Okay, right? So, if we don't have a primary key, okay, our analysis may not be accurate. Right? So, that is the reason we need to maintain the integrity of the entity. We need to maintain the integrity of the entity, right? So, now if you add a primary key, that is PK, not a movie name, it is a primary key. Then, if I ask the same question to Muthuminal, Muthuminal, what is the science marks of a Rahul? Then
Which
Muthuminal,
Rahul I ask?
yes, you will ask which Rahul. Then
Which
I'll say,
Rahul?
yes. Then I'll say, hey, his ID is 1002. Please tell me the science marks of Rahul, who is having a ID. Then Muthuminal's answer will be 67, which is accurate. Okay, that is the need. That is the reason we need entity integrity. Okay, so we already know when we learned about the primary key. When we learned about the primary key, we said value of an attribute of a primary key can't be null. The same thing here. Okay, so primary key should not have a duplicate values. Primary key should not have a duplicate. Duplicate is not. All the primary key should be unique or distinct. Okay, so that is how we can okay, all these things. Okay, wonderful. So one more important aspect what I want to cover is, it is not always you will have a primary key in a table. In that case, you have two ways. Either you insert a one more artificial primary key. When I say artificial, outside. Artificial means, don't ask me what is artificial. Okay, so artificial means I am trying to manufacture a primary key for the table. Or if you guys say, no, I don't want any other column coming from outside, then what you can do is, you can see, combine the columns of a table and make it as a composite primary key. If you have a column which is already unique, not null and distinct, please use that. In case if you don't want to insert one more primary key, in that case, you can create the composite primary key by using the relevant columns which will give the uniqueness by combining them. For example, here, Jack. This is okay. Now, if I combine Jack with the like contact number, we'll be able to get the. So, can we have more than one primary key in a table? No. We already discussed about that, Sabita, yesterday, I guess, right? There will be only one primary key in a table. That's what we discussed, right? Okay, wonderful. That is what I wanted to cover. I mean, I just wanted to cover one more thing, but I would request all of you guys to, since we already have passed the time, Before there is no class on the weekends. That is tomorrow and day after tomorrow. We'll have a class on Monday. That happens. What is the date on Monday? It is 15th, right? The date on
15th.
15th. Okay, we'll resume the class on 15th. Okay, we'll have we have another 5 more free classes. Okay, okay, that is right. So now, as a part of this week, I covered important basics, foundations of RDBMS. So we'll transition into SQL from Monday onwards. Okay. So those who have not installed the SQL Server, please install, and please go ahead and watch all the videos in RDBMS playlist, because whatever are the most important, I covered all of the most important I have covered. Okay, but do watch all the videos in RDBMS, because we are going to transition ourselves into SQL from Monday onwards. Okay, awesome. Then, are there any questions? If there are no questions, we'll wrap up the class for today. Thank you. You guys have a wonderful weekend. See you guys on Monday at 8:30 p.m. AST. Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you.